The 3 best futures bets you can make on the next Don't Bet the House.
Chicago Bulls.
This is Rocky Balboa. This isn't the.
Yeah, this isn't
not
Chicago.
the Bulls. Yeah. This is Mr. T. What a great bet that would win. You had Balboa against Mr. T. You're going to win some money. Right. Welcome to episode 12 of Don't Bet the House, the holiday edition, shortened holiday edition, but we've got some big winners for you today because we're going to give you our three best futures picks that you can make right now. And on top of that, we're going to add in our market forecast for 2023. So, Luke, let's start with you. What do you got?
Do you want me to talk future picks with gambling right now, or future picks with real estate?
Let's give them their down payment right now to get into the market.
I like it.
So the bet that I really like right now, I'm going with an NBA bet, and I'm going with the Denver Nuggets to win the NBA championship. Right now they're plus 1,600. I think Jokic is having another excellent year. He's looking like he's on pace to be the MVP for a third straight year, which is incredible. They have depth. I like Jamal Murray. He's starting to round back into shape that we saw a couple years ago when he was playing like a MVP caliber player in his own right during the bubble. He's starting to have that form again. I think they have multiple players at a lot of different positions. They have scorers all over the
I noticed you didn't talk about Carmelo. Why are you not talking about Carmelo?
Carmelo
he's coming back for Denver.
Yeah, they might bring him back, but and they have some local ties here with Christian Brown.
Christian, absolutely, who you coached, incidentally.
You know what? I like them all the way around.
Well, let me ask you this. So I know somewhat about the NBA, but it seems like it's the same team or two that wins every year. But my perception of it this year, which makes your bet a good one, is that it seems a little more wide open this year.
You know, when you look at the West in particular, there's a lot of really good teams. But what you don't have is, the Warriors aren't really healthy. The Phoenix Suns have been kind of up and down.
Streaky, right.
They have good high-end talent, but, as history has shown us, Chris Paul isn't one of those guys who can get you to the finals. He's kind of on the last leg of his career. I think the Nuggets are in that sweet spot where they have some proven guys. They're still entering their prime. They haven't quite hit the ceiling, but they have guys who have shown that they can play at an incredibly high level.
So why are you not talking about the Grizzlies?
They're still an ascending team,
hey,
is what you're saying.
I like the Grizzlies. The only thing with the Grizzlies is I feel like they're too guard heavy. They don't have big guys that can score. They rely way too much on Ja Morant and Desmond Bane. I don't like the inconsistency from the scoring aspect from their big guys. That's why I like Denver, is because Jokic can score. Michael Porter Jr., when he's healthy, he can score. And when he's not healthy, they have a whole bunch of guys that can play that 2, 3, 4 spot. They have Murray, who is a really dynamic guard. I just like them. I like them a lot this year.
Well, there you go. So you're getting it straight from a basketball coach. Again, he coached Christian Brown. He knows what he's talking about. I think Denver sounds like a good play. What kind of odds are you getting on them?
Right now, they're plus 1,600.
Wow, so 16 to 1. Brendon, can you top that?
I mean, I could top it a little bit by plus 1,700. KU to win the national championship. Okay. I think that I think they're starting to gel pretty well. I think they had a tough game. Was against Tennessee a few weeks back or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's one thing about, I feel like, Bill Self's team. No matter what, they find a way to gel into his system. And I think that he finds the players and he recruits the players that are going to gel well with him. The one thing I didn't like about him, during the Tennessee game was, man, they lived and died by the three-pointer. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now they're starting to get to that, high-low, pick and roll. The Bill Self teams that we've always known, I think they have a deep bench. I think they have guards that you can definitely get to the rack. So I just think that, really at plus 1,700, I actually, it was funny. You text the other day in our group text about, man, I think this is a great bet. And literally an hour before that, I had already put $100 on KU to win it. Last year, you know what? I put $100 on KU to win it around the same time. Actually, I believe it was right after Christmas, and I ended up winning $1,300 last year. So I figured, hey, why not try it again?
Yeah, you look at what succeeds in March, especially in college basketball. It's guard play, really good guard play, and their point guard Loewenherz is one of the most underrated players in the country.
He is the most underrated player in the country, I think.
I love him. Right. He's just a winner. His numbers don't pop out at you, but he just knows how to win. You got Jalen Wilson, who's a veteran scorer, who's he stepped his game up a ton from the last couple of years. And then you got the freshman feed on him, Grady Dick, who's stepped in and looks like he just fits in. He's a incredible talent himself.
One thing about that kid, man, is he catches the ball, he's shooting.
Yeah. He's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
He's legit.
Mike, what are you coming with for us?
Well, just to catch on to that for a second, I agree, and I think they've got a kind of hidden gem with Bobby Pettiford. I mean, they've got some depth there, too. They're not a great rebounding team, so yes, if they get in the tournament and they get in a shooting funk, that probably could be their undoing. Yeah. But 17-1, that's a great bet, I think.
No, I mean, and I think you got to get on these. I think for the futures bet, the one thing about them is you have to get in on them early. I did really well last week betting. I ended up losing it all this weekend. So I figure, hey, I got to put 100 out there and see if I can get back on top of the mountain.
Hey, speaking of college basketball, there's good value out there. I think North Carolina to reach the Final Four is a good value bet right now. Preseason, everybody thought they were going to be the team to beat. They were going to be the team to win it all. And
they're preseason number one.
Yeah, they've struggled here in the early season, but I think once tournament time comes around, once they get into ACC play, they're going to get it. They're going to right the ship. They got a lot of veterans. Almost everybody's back. And right now they have great value, plus 700 to reach the Final Four.
No, that's pretty. I mean, that gives you a lot of wiggle room there. I mean, that's one thing about betting on the national championship is you're betting that your team has to win it. I mean, that's get to the Final Four is. I'm not going to say it's not tough, but it's also one of those things. You have a little bit more
grace,
a little bit of room here to grow. So,
absolutely.
What are you going to give us here, Mike?
I'm actually going to go a completely different direction. I'm going to go with the PGA. I'm going to go to the Masters, and Tony Finau is a guy that's surging into the top 10 right now. He's finished in the top 10 of the Masters the last 3 years. That's the formula it takes. Guys that are successful there year in and year out. And anybody that knows a lot about golf knows that he is an incredible golfer. So it's just a matter of things coming together for him. You're getting 28-1 on him right now. And that's just something, in April, you're probably looking at 5 to 10-1. So Tony Finau, 28-1, I think that's just a great value. And would you guys want to argue that point?
Not on golf.
If we want to talk golf,
there you go.
Okay, hockey, bowling.
I got you guys on the soccer trade.
Mike's bringing the alternate sports.
Sports,
golf and soccer.
Exactly.
The world.
Exactly. But it's a good contrast. I think we gave him 3 good bets. I mean, there's a lot of value with all 3 of those. Now let's talk about the market a little bit as it pertains to real estate. And what are we thinking? We're going to give our predictions. So,
I mean, it's right now. I think that I don't really buy into much of the hype over the news or anything else. Sometimes I read a lot of things, and I mean, you look at the stock market, and you look at it. Just seems like everything is definitely trending down right now. We don't know how it's going to bounce back. We don't know what it's going to take for it to bounce back. But I do think no matter what, I think we're still going to see a good spring market. Do I think we're going to see what we saw, the last couple of years? No, I don't. But I also think that once again, that's going to come back to those. It's a good market for somebody. Just is it a good market for us to buy houses in, or is it a good market for the first-time home buyers? So no matter what, I think that we're still going to see a spike in the market. We're still going to see the people that are needing, because no matter what, people are still getting married. People are still having kids. People are still getting those promotions. People still want to move no matter what. And there's those people that look, always take the second-time home buyer. Most second-time home buyers, they're going to their 20-year home, right? Because once you get into that house, your kids get into a school district, a particular school, you feel comfortable with it, and that's kind of where you stay. I still think that you're going to have those people that are wanting to get into that second house. They're going to want to cash out on what they've created with their first home. So I think no matter what, we're still going to see a good market. I think we're going to see the interest rates come down a little bit, as we've heard from other people. And to me, no matter what, it's a good market for somebody.
I think the market is going to be very polarized. I think it's going to be a market where, when you look at some of the inflation numbers, they're starting to get that a little under controlled. So I think what that's going to end up doing is, maybe middle to late in the year, we're going to start seeing interest rates really come down, which is going to allow people to get financing with better terms. But I think what we're going to see is those homes that are updated, that are move-in ready, the demand for those is going to be just like it was last spring. They're going to sell multiple offers, first day on the market. Anything where somebody can move in, has good layout, priced well, those things are going to get snatched up. I think the houses that are overpriced, maybe they're a little dated, they need some work. I think those houses are going to sit on the market a little longer. And
again, so people are maybe at the top of their buying power, and they don't want to get into something they don't feel like they can fix up right away. So maybe
the key point about that is where you talk about there are going to be houses that are going to be sitting. They're only going to be sitting if people price them wrong.
Right.
Because no matter what, everything will sell. You can literally go get the biggest piece of junk out there, and it's only good because of the lot. If you price it right, there's somebody out there, we might look at it. That's just the thing is if you price it right, you're going to sell your home. But I think that's where, as an agent, it's going to be tough for us to come in and tell somebody because, you know how it is. Everybody talks, well, my neighbor's house sold for this and my cousin's house and whoever. Right. They always know what they know.
They set a different kind of expectation.
Yeah, and you can't do that. You have to, at this point in time, you have to listen to a professional because it's not just putting it on the market and see what happens.
Well, and the thing about it is when you look at the statistics that KCRAR puts out, you get big generalities of what our market's doing. But when you go in and you evaluate what's actually happening, the big general numbers say inventory is going up, houses are staying on the market a lot longer. But when you go in and you look at what houses are staying on the market, it's like Open Door will have houses on the market for over 100 days. And you look at what houses have been on the market for over 30 days. Almost all of them are Open Door listings that have been priced so outrageously high that nobody wants to buy them.
6 months ago,
and they decrease they decrease the price and they decrease the price. And so those numbers are a little misleading because, yes, homes are staying on the market a little longer, but the Open Door listings play into that. And yes, there's a little more inventory, but some of that is these big hedge fund buyers who thought they were going to buy and then flip it and turn it. Those houses are now sitting on the market and they have to hit a certain number, and so they're not willing to come down in price and actually sell it where the market currently is.
And those investors probably are not as in tune with the market. I mean, again, you're talking about people from out of state that are just blindly buying things and not paying attention to this specific market. Yeah. And so you're right. It goes back to what Brendon said. They're priced wrong.
Well, but the thing about it, too, is you have a lot of people right now that are still, no matter what, we still are in 2022. People still have 2022 mindsets. You're going to have people that are still going back and they're looking at comps that are a year old. Mm-hmm. If you look at comps that were 8 months ago, what are you seeing? You're seeing a lot better comps than you are right now. Yeah. So that's why when we go comp something out, we're talking 180 days instead of 365.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that once you get into, let's just say the spring market sets itself as what we're talking about in the future, it sets the market. All of a sudden we get to the end of next year. Now we're talking about, the 2023 market. We're talking about 2023 comps. Yeah. And I just think that no matter what, we just have to. We have to let that shift slowly happen. It's not like it's just going to happen at once because the old shift has to fade out and the new one comes in. Yeah. And I still think no matter what, the market will be okay.
Yeah, it'll still be a good market. It'll still be, people will be selling and people will be buying. And if you price your house right, you're going to get a lot of traffic and it's going to sell. And and it's the same thing with buyers. It's going to be there's going to be opportunities for buyers to get really good deals, and there's going to be opportunities for sellers to get really good deals. And I think that, now more than ever, it's critical to have a high-producing agent who knows what's going on in the market, who's going to be able to give you good advice, because it's a tricky market.
Right.
It's a tricky market.
And I'd say anecdotally, I went to look at a house yesterday, really liked it, saw a lot of value with it. There's multiple offers one day.
But it's great value in that house.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's just the
it's
thing.
what
is
you
like,
guys are talking about. Right.
I bought my house in 2008 for $160,000. It's probably worth $354. Like, no matter what, you can give me $300,000 and it's good value for me as a seller. No, I don't have to do that, but that's just the thing no matter what. Now, if you bought last year and you got in a bidding war and you paid a lot more, like, you're gonna have to wait a few years to probably sell. And we're gonna see some people that maybe got in that market and all of a sudden they need, for whatever reason, to get out. That's gonna happen, but that's a good thing for our market. I'm sorry for those people, but you need those things to happen. You need some things to happen in the market to bring the values down just a little bit, make it affordable again.
Well, there's just not going to be the same kind of urgency there was with everybody across the board when interest rates were 2%, 3%. There's just not going to be that urgency for people to want to finance.
Limited amount of ability for buyers. I mean, there was so little flexibility.
Yeah.
So it's kind of back on that, and just that's my take as well. I mean, I think you hit it on the head. This first half of the year, 2023, it'll continue to be a polarizing market. People not knowing what to do. This is probably when you're going to get your best bets, your best value. So, I think interest rates are going to come down a little bit. I think we're already seeing inflation starting to slow. So I think it all adds up to a lot of value there. Get out there, find your real estate professional. These guys would be happy to help you. I'd be happy to help you. So all I can tell you is go ahead and smash that like button on there. Let us know you're watching. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear it. Whatever you do,
Don't bet the house.